The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Here's your host, Sabrina Turner.
Good morning, Cayman, and welcome to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz that is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Centre. I am pleased this morning in our shortened version of the Business Buzz every second Thursday, as followed by Money Sense. And this first segment, we put the spotlight and talk about the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. And we're speaking with representatives from the Anti-Money Laundering Department of the Ministry of Financial Services. I'm pleased to have in studio with me to tell us more Mr. Dwayne Lawrence, Senior Legal and Policy Analyst, Ms. Elizabeth Lee, National Coordinator, and Ms. Justine Plinkowicz, yes, Deputy National Coordinator. Good morning and welcome to our show.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Please, can you provide us with some background on the Anti-Money Laundering Unit and what are the primary functions of this?
Right. So the Anti-Money Laundering Unit is actually a unit within the portfolio of legal affairs. It sits within the Attorney General's chambers. It was started in 2014 out of a need to ensure Cayman's AML, CFT, anti-money laundering, combating the financing of terrorism, institutional framework and legal framework were adhere to international standards, and also to ensure that an agency was responsible for the preparation of Cayman for its assessment of its laws by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force.
So explain the CFATF. There are going to be a lot of acronyms being used here this morning, so we're hoping that we don't lose our listeners. But the whole process for the Cayman Islands.
So the FATF is the Financial Action Task Force. It's the global standard setter in terms of anti-money laundering, countering terrorist financing, and countering the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. The CFATF is the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force, of which the Cayman Islands is a founding member. It has approximately 25 countries who are members of that regional style FATF body. So we have the overall FATF based in Paris, and then we have regional bodies such as CFATF, of which the Cayman Islands is a member. Those bodies conduct mutual evaluations of each other for compliance with those global standards. The Cayman Islands underwent such an assessment, and the report was published in March 2019, and that report is in fact available publicly. It's online. As a result of that report and the 63 recommended actions contained with it, and the grades obtained by the Cayman Islands, we're now subject to a 1-year observation period. That observation period runs from February of last year to February of this year. After that, we'll have a meeting with what's known as the Joint Group of the Americas, who will report to the overall body, the FATF, on the progress we've made and whether we've made sufficient progress. And that final decision will be taken at the FATF plenary in June of this year.
Okay, it's a lot of steps. So can you elaborate on how Cayman's response to this process has been?
Yes. The Cayman Islands has established a ministerial subcommittee which is chaired by the Honourable Premier, and this demonstrates the extremely serious nature of the process and the extremely robust response of the Cayman Islands government to this process. The Cayman Islands has also put in place a national coordination team, and myself and Justine are members of that team here today, working with Mr. Lawrence and others of the Anti-Money Laundering Unit. We coordinate the response of the various agencies, which, as you can imagine, ranges from law enforcement agencies such as the police to supervisors such as SEMA, as well as different bodies and committees. We've also got in place an action plan in relation to each of those 63 recommended actions, which clearly identifies what each of those agencies need to do. We report then on that, and each of those members report on that, including self-regulatory bodies such as SILPA and SEPA for the lawyers and the accountants. And all of those reports are then sent up to the Anti-Money Laundering Steering Group and the Ministerial Subcommittee on a monthly basis. So all of these steps have been put in place to ensure that we have the most robust response that we possibly can.
And if I can just add to that, the Cayman Islands government has also issued a national AML CFT strategy for the next few years, and that elaborates the priority actions that the government is taking, and that is available on the website of the Anti-Money Laundering Unit, so anyone can go and have a look to see what we're doing.
I know that there are some PR on it. You're being featured and spotlight on this show. But what else is being done to the public to understand the importance of global regulatory standards and adherence? Because somebody say, it's not going to affect me. I'm just your common layperson. Why should I even have to know about this? What would you say to those persons that have that type of approach?
Well, in fact, it is everyone's business, which is the phrase we've been using and trying to reiterate. And you may have heard it on the public service announcements that have been circulated in relation to money laundering, terrorist financing and proliferation financing. What is it and how does it affect me? And that's what we're really trying to make everyone aware of. We've been issuing regular press releases on the work done and the progress we've been making. And shortly we will issue an enhanced AMLU, the Anti-Money Laundering Unit's website, which will contain enhanced features and messages for the public to easily be able to access. We have radio appearances such as this one to try and explain the message and what it is we're doing. And we hope that this will help to keep everyone informed, but also let the public know how important it is and a role that they themselves may even have to play in what they see.
Okay.
If I may just add to what Elizabeth has just said, the AMLU is also the secretary to the steering group, and so a lot of the information which is being put out will be able to be found on the AMLU's website.
Okay. Now, CFATF responses is a national priority, correct?
Yes, the Honourable Premier has made clear this is a national priority, and that message has been clearly handed out to all those involved, including the competent authorities, the supervisors and the self-regulatory bodies. And we've also conducted numerous outreach events and again reiterated that message.
When you look at our jurisdiction being so small, but finance is surrounding us, how important is this looking at a jurisdiction who's just trying to get all their ducks in a row? What would you say to that and our response as a jurisdiction?
As you correctly mentioned, we are one of the leading international financial centers. And we are the number one jurisdiction, for example, for hedge funds around the world. So we have, even though we might be a small jurisdiction with a small population, we actually have a very significant global impact when it comes to financial services. The fight against financial services, the global fight, is only as strong as its weakest link. And so we as a country, and especially as a leader, we have a very important part to play in implementing the global standards, such as the ones that are put out by the Financial Action Task Force.
Now, for years, the Cayman Islands has been dubbed as a place to go to hide your money. We've been named, even in most recent, I think, insurance, that our financial minister, Minister Tara Rivers, had to actually step in. How do you see all of this that's going into play will actually dilute, or that will eventually go away and make us as a jurisdiction that is more not looked at as where you go and stash your money to get it cleaned with all that you're doing now?
Right. So the implementation of these global standards will help us further enhance our reputation as an international financial center, as a place where only good business, quality business is accepted. And it will also solidify our role as a leader. The assessment, the results of the assessment of the jurisdiction are available online, and so to have this kind of endorsement by a global standard setter, for example, such as the FATF or the CFATF, of all the work that we've been doing and how effective we are in preventing and deterring and detecting financial crime within our jurisdiction. So the facts might convince those those naysayers in other jurisdictions that might have a different perception of the Cayman Islands.
Now, what's the importance of global standards and adherence as a leading international financial center?
So the global standards, as we've said, set what the bar should be in terms of this global fight against money laundering, terrorist financing and proliferation financing. By adhering to those, we are detecting and deterring criminals. This jurisdiction, as has been said on many occasions, is here for good business, and we don't want the other kind of business, and we're making that very clear, not just due to our obligations as a leading international financial centre on the global scene, but also as a jurisdiction who wants to detect and deter criminals and prevent the misuse of its own jurisdiction. So we hope these additional steps that we've put in place will achieve all of those aims.
Now, how will this help or how will this affect the regular mom and pop stores, your lay stores, just your mini marts?
So, financial crime within a jurisdiction comes with many costs for not just financial institutions, but also the general public. So, for example, if you have a jurisdiction where there is quite a bit of financial crime, money laundering, for example, or terrorist financing, financial institutions will try to protect themselves, and they will, for example, raise the bar on who can open a bank account or how much documentation you need to open a bank account. So we all know that when we go, for example, to do any financial transaction, we need to provide a utility bill, and we need to provide a copy of identification document. And unfortunately, financial crime just raises the bar for everyone in terms of what's needed to access financial services. And it also makes financial services much more expensive for the average user because, for example, if banks have compliance costs, those costs are often passed on to the consumer.
Yes.
So it makes it much more difficult for everyone to do business. So it's not just an issue that affects the big financial institutions, the big hedge funds, but it trickles down to every single person that wants to do business in the Cayman Islands.
You're in tune to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz that is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Give them a call at 949-6211 and Cayman Insurance Centre, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. We'll be right back after these few messages.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Cayman Medical Supplies, now providing Cayman Brac with medical supplies. Call 949-6211. And Cayman Medical Supplies will arrange to ship from wheelchairs and walkers to all kinds of medical supplies. Your order will be shipped to you either by Cayman Airways or Thompson Shipping for one agreed upon price. Telephone 949-6211. Cayman Medical Supplies, located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner.
Radio Cayman News, live, in-depth team coverage.
A 7.7 magnitude earthquake has occurred.
Fast.
Radio Cayman's Carsley Fuller was one of the first to call in.
I could hear my neighbors across the street saying, whoa, that was a big one.
Accurate.
Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallegos covering the story for us.
Advising there is only a very low risk of a tsunami following this afternoon's earthquake.
If it's happening now, you're hearing it now.
We have had the all clear from the Pacific Tsunami Warning Centre. However, there will be aftershocks.
We've had a very dramatic afternoon, and I know that for a lot of people this has been very frightening.
It does not appear that anyone has been hurt and that we have been spared the worst what could have been a truly devastating ordeal.
Radio Cayman News, your news as it happens.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Cayman's Business Buzz.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Sabrina Turner. As we keep the spotlight on our topic this morning, Caribbean Financial Action Task Force, and as we're just getting the basics on that, hoping that by ways of this show that you would be more informed as to what this is all about and getting some updates. Now, Mr. Lawrence, at the beginning, you mentioned that there was a steering group. Can you just elaborate a little bit more on that steering group for us, please?
Certainly. So the steering group is the Anti-Money Laundering Steering Group. It is established under the Proceeds of Crime Law, and it is chaired by the Attorney General. Its main responsibility is the general oversight of the AML policy of the government. It's also mandated an interagency coordination committee which carries out or implements the policy of the steering group. So it's more on the operational side of things, and that's chaired by the head of the anti-money laundering unit.
And domestic cooperation and coordination is key to this whole process with so many different agencies, and it's also referred to in the mutual evaluation report and features as one of those 63 recommended actions. So as well as those bodies which already existed under statute, in our response we have also established a financial crime focus group, which is chaired by the Director of Public Prosecutions. It consists of the heads of the relevant law enforcement agencies, including the RCIPS and the Financial Reporting Authority, which is where people report their suspicious activity. So banks will report suspicious activity to the Financial Reporting Authority. So they're also a key member of that group, which is designed to enhance our use of financial intelligence. We also have a group in relation to proliferation financing, which is the financing of weapons of mass destruction, chaired by the Sanctions Coordinator. And we also have a supervisors forum, because two of our supervisors are in fact self-regulatory bodies. The body which regulates lawyers and the body which regulates accountants. So to ensure they're also part of the framework, we've established a supervisors forum chaired by SEMA, and they also report to the interagency committee, which Dwayne has referred to.
Sure.
So therefore we've got all agencies under these umbrellas which all answer to the anti-money laundering steering group, and then on top of that, that ministerial subcommittee.
So good. At some point there's no detachment. Everybody's pretty much informed and knows what each other is doing.
That's exactly the key to this whole process.
Excellent. Now, what are some ways that financial institutions can properly prioritize action plans to improve the effectiveness of their AML and CFT regimen?
So the theme of this latest mutual evaluation from the CFATF is actually on the risk-based approach. And the risk-based approach means that you have to put in your resources, most resources, in the areas of higher risk. So one of the ways that financial institutions can tackle this very big task ahead of them is to do a risk assessment of their business, to see where their money laundering risks might be, where they might be vulnerable to being misused. For example, for terrorism financing, they might not even know about it, but they do have some risks. So the recommendation is that they should look, for example, at who their customers are, where those customers come from, the types of jurisdictions, what kinds of products and services they offer, and how they do business. For example, their transaction channels or delivery channels, if they do business solely online or face-to-face. And then they will have a better idea of where their main vulnerabilities lie, and then they can figure out how many resources they have and where that focus should be in terms of placing those resources.
Now this will be a chance for you to just give a wrap up, and are there any plans for any town hall meetings to get the word out there in the future, even though it's wrapping up after a year of us being observed? But
so the next key event that we have for those conducting relevant financial business is a large outreach event in terms of the results of our risk assessments. Which we are just finalising at the moment, because it's no good doing a risk assessment if you don't share the results of it.
Exactly.
So that's coming up shortly. We also have our regular press releases and hopefully more radio appearances such as this one to keep everyone informed.
Okay. Would you like to leave So go ahead.
And maybe just to add to that, for anyone who's conducting relevant financial business, and that includes not just obviously banks and trust companies and so on, but also jewelry businesses, real estate agents, nonprofit organizations. Each one of those businesses is supervised by a regulator, and regulators have outreach sessions that they conduct for their supervised entities. So you might also want to get in touch, for those of you who are conducting relevant financial business, get in touch with your regulator and see what kind of outreach and what kind of activities are planned for your sector.
Okay. Mr. Lawrence, any closing?
I think what Elizabeth and Justine have said are very important. I think relevant financial business in particular should stay in tune with what is happening right now. There are a lot of changes which are taking place, which have taken place, which they need to be aware of. And so I think with that, I'll leave it there.
Okay. If that's it, I want to thank you for being on our show and allowing us to put this spotlight on this very important topic. And I hope by ways of what we were able to cover in this segment that people would have gotten a better understanding of exactly what you all are doing and how it will impact our day-to-day lives.
Thank you very much for having us on the show.
Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure. Please stay tuned for more of the Business Buzz after these few messages, when we'll be putting the spotlight on Bon Vivant.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Always be prepared and ensure your family is provided for. Cayman Insurance Center specializes in life, property, motor, health, and liability at the most competitive premiums and affordable rates on island. Call Michael Webster today at 925-5433 for life insurance, or Denise Brown at 814-7229 for property insurance. Call them today for all your insurance needs.
All are invited to attend the 83rd Annual Convention of the Church of God Full Gospel Hall, Georgetown, from February 2nd through to the 9th. Daily prayer meetings at 6:30 a.m., preaching and praise at 10:30 a.m., and evangelistic services nightly at 7:15. Sundays begin with Sunday school at 9:45 a.m., followed by morning worship at 10:45, a youth service at 3 p.m., and evangelistic services at 7:15. Come and enjoy a warm Christian fellowship, praying, praising, and singing with church family at the 83rd Annual Convention of the Church of God Full Gospel Hall, Georgetown, on the waterfront from the 2nd to 9th of February. Free meals served daily and transportation is available by calling 926-8180.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Good morning and welcome back to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz that is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. In this segment, I am pleased to have in studio with me our very own Miss Cynthia Hugh to tell us more about Bon Vivant. Welcome to our show.
Oh, thank you so much for the invitation.
It is a pleasure. So share with us about Bon Vivant's journey and the main reason behind opening a store of this.
So Bon Vivant, my goodness, now it's been about 14 years we opened, and I say we because it was an idea between my husband and I, Joey Hugh. You know, we were trying to figure out how do we combine our passion for entertaining, everything, food, wine, cooking, and linking that and balancing that with reality. So I knew we were going to be starting a family soon, and he said, I have all the confidence in the world, you can do this, and set me on my merry way. And we opened a kitchen store. At first, it was supposed to be tools and gadgets and all the fun things that, you know, you see when you walk into a kitchen kitchen store. And then again, that reality started setting in, and we realized, okay, you have to sell a lot of spatulas to actually survive. So we thought, well, why not do offer the appliances, large luxury appliances, and if we're going to offer appliances, well, we might as well create a demo kitchen that we can have in store so people can experience, the way these pieces of machinery work, the tools and gadgets in the store. So it allowed us an interactive way to not only show people what we offer, but for them to experience themselves and see. You don't buy a Rolls Royce without test driving it.
You're right.
So that's kind of what we've done. And over the last 14 years, I'm very, very grateful that this community has embraced us, and we've grown tremendously. And one thing that we're really proud of is we have focused on the local culinary scene. So much so that we found people that have been just as passionate as we are with regards to culinary have now turned their life into, being that corporate, whether lawyer or that corporate marketing person. And now they are full-time chefs doing work around the island. And it's always fun for us to see that there's a joint level of inspiration between both us and what's happening in the culinary scene. So we just keep on trucking forward.
Now, how wide-reaching has Bon Vivant been in attracting a wide spectrum of clients from both, like you said, professionals and even amateurs? Because you look at those cooking shows and you go into your store and you just get up there, I think you take a step up and you're like, whoa. Camera, lights, action.
Yeah.
That's the feel you get.
I'm on. No, I think a lot of it has to do with our products and the fact that we are able to cross over between the residential and commercial market.
Right.
I think a lot of people, because I've heard this in the past when people come in and they think, well, what's the cost for that pot set? Is it going to be way out of my budget? Well, in actuality, we offer what I feel is affordable luxury, but with that does come a level of prestige and quality. Yes. So, for example, microplane, which is our zesters, you'll find that in commercial kitchens. So while you, as a residential, amateur chef, might want to make a nice meringue and dust it with some lemon zest, you're going to be using the same product that you would find, with the bakers at the Foster's, the Foster's Grocery or some of the local restaurants. So I think that has been a real a strong point for us, that people can trust that what we sell, we back. I'm sure just like you have a local small business too. And at the end of the day, your name is everything that you represent.
Yes.
So we find that it's important for us to align ourselves with other brands that we can trust that have, a strong history, because Cayman is too small and I don't want our name to be tarnished. And I also don't want to have our customers have a bad experience.
Now, what are some of the major brands that you carry at Bon Vivant?
Well, again, going back to what I said about the quality. So you'll find that there is an overall theme. So quality, strong, reliable brands. So we offer large appliances like your Gaggenau, your Bosch, your Thermador, your Schmeg, your Miele. There's a host of them. And then we also offer for our smallware some of our staples. I mean, people will likely know. If you want Le Creuset, which is the cast iron cookware and stoneware.
Yes, my dream. I don't need roses this year.
I'm coming back and bringing you something because everybody needs a piece of that in their life.
Need roses.
So Le Creuset is one of our ones, all clad. There's several. For our outdoor, we've got Big Green Egg, which is a smoker, Coyote and Alfresco grills for those, those people who love to hang out on the outside and do an alfresco dining. But we also do millwork now. So cabinetry, we've got a brand from Italy called Tazzoni, and then another German line as well. With very green standards for those people who are understand the need to be careful about their carbon footprint.
Right.
So it's I think we have become really that one-stop shop that allows people to feel as though they're going to be taken care of, and they don't have to sit in traffic and hop around to location to get what they need for their kitchen.
Well, perfect segue, Cynthia, because we're getting some calls that there's traffic is horrible for persons commuting in from the Eastern District along Linford Pearson Bypass and Crew Road. We're asking you to just exercise some patience. As soon as we get more information as to what may be causing these delays, we will let you know. But definitely for employers who you're expecting your employees there on time. For those persons coming from the Eastern District, they will be running a bit late this morning. But we're here, we're on the Business Buzz, trying to keep you entertained. And why not think in your head what you can go at Bon Vivant and shop for Valentine's or for that, just because.
That's right. And in fact, for Valentine's, we've sold out, but we do regular classes. And I think that you and I were chatting about that, I think the last time I came in and talking about the demo kitchen. So we've got a Valentine's Day cooking class where couples come in and we're giving away some ramekins from Le Creuset as part of it. And we're going to be doing a couple of different demos throughout the month of February that people can come in, try out some of the different things that we have. Our juicers, if you're looking to get healthy for the new year, come in, try it. See how easy it is to clean, and we'll give you some recipes to take home.
Excellent.
And I think the one thing that we really enjoy is because, I've got some incredible staff who love our customers. And I know it's challenging at times because sometimes there are good days and bad days. But what I value so much with my staff is that when somebody walks in, at that moment, that relationship begins.
Yes.
And it's all about really nurturing that relationship, making sure the client knows what the product does, making sure the client understands how to properly use it. And if it's not working or if there's a problem with it, to come in and let, our staff really take care of them. And I think that is one of the reasons that we've been in business as long as we have.
Now, for those persons who may want to just renovate or building and want to outfit that perfect kitchen, do you assist with layout and design as well?
We do. In fact, I have a very talented designer, Eddie, and if anyone out there is looking for, something that is going to give them a unique look and style in their home, come with their ideas. And Eddie, we use a software called SketchUp, which allows people to actually see what they're thinking in a 3D rendering. Wow. So we can work with you on different styles for your millwork, what appliances are going to work for you, and not just visually, but we also understand that everybody has a budget.
Yeah.
So where do your numbers line up? Let's see how best we can sort that for you, and then pass you off to the next side and outfit that kitchen with all of our smallwares in our smallwares packages. Where if you buy, a variety of pieces, we give you a bulk discount. And if you would like us to clean everything and get it set up, we can do that too. So again, I think we're all so busy, and you're right. People are spending hours sitting, whether it's in traffic or dealing with lines at various places that they have to go deal with licensing and so on, because that is life. It's life anywhere, and Cayman is not unique in that regard. But we want to make sure that we're taking on that workload and that stress for the client and making it as easy as possible for them to be happy with the end result of their choices.
Now, for those of you who enjoy cooking, nothing beats just going home, let's say looking forward to the weekend, whether you do it indoors or outdoors, and just having some steaks, or if you want to go down to that brown stew chicken, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But then having family and friends over as you cook. Now, you envision yourself walking in and having the proper tools, excellent pots to use, and that experience can be obtained from Bon Vivant. But what have you seen the most popular appliance that people really say, look, I can do with everything else, but this piece of appliance I gotta have?
Well, I would say for smallwares, I would definitely say your pots, and normally it's going to be your fry pans, because breakfast seems to be a big deal for people, and they want to make sure that it's healthy and it's as easy as possible. So I would say your pots, All Clad is one of the lines that we bring in, and they're nonstick, very affordable, clean up very easily. And then Le Creuset, we have a hard anodized nonstick as well. Those are wonderful. My second go-to is a good paring knife and a good chef's knife. And we've got two styles. So we've got global, which is your Asian style. So, and the difference is the way in which they're the angle of their blades. Global, so Asian knives are sharpened on both sides, so to a point. And then your Europeans, we've got Wusthof, and we also have Victorinox, and those are their angle is slightly different, where it's only sharpened on one side. So I would say those two things, and that alone will set you off in a better mood when your family's screaming, I don't want that for dinner.
Now, when you look at persons purchasing products from you, such as appliances, what about servicing, if that's required?
Yes. So what we have done is we recognize the importance of having strong relationships, and not just with our customers and our suppliers, but our service providers. So we do use a firm called PMSG, and they support us. They support all of our warranty. We offer up to one, sometimes two, depending on the product, warranty for our large appliances. And then for our small appliances, like Vitamix, for example, which is both a residential and commercial blender, masterpiece is what I should call it. It's amazing. We have up to 7 years. So it really depends on a case by case basis. But I also, there's so many service options here in Cayman. For example, I use another company to work on all of our coffee machines because they're the expert.
Yes.
The one thing that we do at Bon Vivant, we're not going to put our hand, we're not going to dabble into something unless we've done the research and we've got the resources that are the expertise. Otherwise, it's unfair. Like, I will lose your trust pretty quickly if I offer you something I don't believe in or know about. So that's, I think we're really, really fortunate to have the available resources on island to support our products and offerings.
Now tell us about Bon Vivant's bridal and home registry services.
Okay. So our bridal and home registry, that's more the retail side. And I have 2 team members who are absolutely brilliant. They invite people in for particularly the bridal registries. Come in, sit down, have a glass of wine with us.
Nice.
We've got a booklet that shows almost like Kitchen 101, the basics. And it's very broad. Like, not everyone is going to need that perfect mixer, but it's on the lists, as you know, that it's an available option. And we also have our small wares packages. So we sit down with our clients, go through all the different products that we have, not just in store, but available. Because we live in a somewhat of a small community, our purchases, we can't bring in everything.
Right.
But we've got relationships with all our suppliers. So if there is something that somebody wants that we don't necessarily stock day to day, we can order that and bring that in for the client. But our bridal registries have become quite popular because you're starting a relationship that with the intention of having it for a lifetime. And I do hope that when people buy from us, they realize that product is going to be with them for a lifetime.
Right.
And if they have any issues, do not wait until you throw it away and say, I had a problem with that. Please come in, talk to us, because again, at the end of the day, we're only as good as our customers allow us to be.
Right.
So come in, tell us if there's an issue. I would prefer that than reading it on social media.
Yes.
And we'll fix it for you. That I can guarantee.
Right. Now, as a business owner, how important is it for you to get the word out and understanding a well laid out website for persons who tend to prefer to lounge either in their couch or in the backyard and shop online or visit one's website? How important is that?
I hear where you're coming from. I think websites are very, very important. I do find in Cayman, ours, and I might be speaking out of line, but for my particular situation with Bon Vivant, I feel as though our website provides some knowledge and understanding of what we do, what brands we carry. But because we don't allow purchases online for a number of reasons, e-commerce standards and so on, it's very difficult for people to spend quite a lot of time in there. But what I found has become a trend is social media. The amount of hits that we have on Facebook, on Instagram, and our ability to talk to customers immediately.
Right.
I mean, I'll get messages from someone at 11 o'clock at night saying, how much is blah, blah, blah? And I respond right away. So I think the trend is now immediate gratification, immediate response. People don't want to wait. And our website, and I know maybe I'll get calls today from people saying, we can redo your website. But I find our website is more stagnant in that it's the information is there if you want to go search for it. But I find people aren't into searching anymore.
Right.
They want you to tell them.
Right.
Kind of like a little bit of a permission marketing. Or, can I show you this?
Yes.
They want that interaction.
Now, what are your hours of operation?
So Bon Vivant is open Monday through Saturday, and we're open 10 a.m. till 6:30. A little busier during the season, but right now we've kind of slowed a bit.
Right.
And then our classes run from 6 to 8 p.m. At the moment, we've got a few coming up, again, mostly demonstrations. We've got our Valentine's Day one. We'll be coming out with some more in March and April. We've got kids classes coming up in February as well. So I really encourage people to either go onto our website, which is www.bonvivant.ky. You can email us. It's easy, info@bonvivant.ky, or go on to social media. And you can just put in Bon Vivant Cayman, and it'll show up in a lot of our plans and activities that we have coming up. But we'd love to see people come into the store because that's when it becomes fun.
Which when you walk into the store, what can people expect? For someone who may have just seen it down at Kimana Bay over the weekend, and let's say you're closed, but have never been inside because of perception or what they think. I'd never be able to afford anything in there. Why waste my time to go in? What would you say to those people?
I would say come in and share your recipes with us. We're passionate about what we do. And so even if you just come in and feed a dream that one day you want to buy this or that, or maybe your house is completely stocked and you thought, you know what, I have nothing to do. I'm going to pop in and have a coffee. Come in and just chat with us, because again, we're there as a service. And I would also say when you come in, don't be too intimidated to walk out too quickly. Keep walking back, because we're actually shaped like a guitar. So we're very lean in the front, and people walk in and they're like, oh, and then it opens up. And our demonstration kitchen, I feel, is quite the sight. Right. And I also believe in feeding those dreams and reminding yourself what you're capable of having. So I kind of think that it should be inspiring. And it's one of the things when Joey and I were talking about developing the company, and Bon Vivant, the name came up. It's French, by the way, means a person who enjoys the finer things in life. Nice. We talked about different taglines. We're inspiring for better living, but inspiring just kept coming up. And I think it's because when I walk into the store every day, it's inspiring. I was a young Caymanian. Now I'm approaching a higher age group.
That's bothering me.
It's bothering me. I have a birthday coming up. I'm like, what is happening?
She's been on that, ladies and gentlemen, all morning.
I'm like, my eyes, it was blurry to get here. But, as a semi-young Caymanian who started a business with very little, and what it has become today, we sponsor Cayman Cookout every year, and we have, relations with Eric Repair, Anthony Bourdain when he was still around. It shows that anything is possible for young people out there who are looking to do something on their own. Yes. Don't allow your situation or your lifestyle or your history to define what you will become.
Don't box yourself in your mind.
Yes.
The easiest thing to do is ask. Seek help.
So true. And there's so many available resources here locally for you. I mean, at the time, I think it was the Business Bureau. I met with them because I had some questions about what's available for local small businesses here. And they were a wealth of information and support for me. And it is a very lonely road, as you know, as a small business. And sometimes you have more customers beating you than applauding you occasionally. And when that happens, it can be challenging to stay strong. So for anyone out there that's listening that either has a small business or is looking to open a small business, let me tell you, you are so valuable. You're valuable to this economy, you're valuable to your customers, and you're valuable to your staff. So on those hard days, just have some perspective. And I look at my guitar and I walk in, and I only hope that my customers feel that when they walk in as well, and feel that love and passion.
Now, talking about small businesses and understanding your journey, I must say, for going into 18 years, it has been challenging, but I am just grateful to all the persons that have been in my path. And I have to publicly say, C&B has stood by my side from day one.
I am right there with you.
I have to do that. I was nervous because you don't want to go. But when your back's against a wall and you reach out, and it's just when days are good that you show that good relationship. And then you, like what you were explaining, one would look as though, oh, Cynthia would never have no business. Her any issues. She's in the Cayman Bay. Oh, there is no way she could have issues. So you run your business, there are up days and there are down days. But the relationships, the networks that you create, and your reputation speaks volumes. So I'm grateful because many small businesses out there are feeling it. And they are nervous because of pride. Don't do that.
I totally agree with you.
Don't do it.
It doesn't mean, one thing that, you read a bunch of different business magazines and you see the importance of And you see the importance of don't align how you feel about yourself and whether you're failing or succeeding by your balance sheet. You know, everything takes time, everything takes nurturing. So I agree with you. Cayman National, honestly, the same thing. They have been so incredibly supportive over the last 14 years. I could not continue to do what I do if they didn't believe in me. But it's all about honesty and ensuring that it's hard work. Do your homework. Make sure you stay in touch. Communicate.
Yes.
And all that in any relationship. And in small business, it's just important.
Just be open. So great tips, great advice for those other small businesses out there who may be struggling and looking at us like they got it made. Oh, heck no. And you know what? That may actually create another forum for struggles small business have to go through, for people looking at you thinking it's okay. But we got to put on the bright face. We have made this huge investment. We're not going to see it go down because trust me, we're feeling it as a small business. Middle and large businesses are feeling it as well.
Everything's
So
relative.
it's how you deal with it.
Totally agree.
Cynthia, it's always a pleasure speaking with
Same.
you. I'll definitely be in the store, and hint, I'll take pictures and send to my husband.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's.
Thank you so much. It is
My
it is a pleasure. All the best to you. The Business Buzz, we want to thank our listeners for tuning into us every Tuesday and Thursday. And this would not be possible without the kind sponsorships of K-Man Medical Supplies and K-Man Insurance Center. Until Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, have a safe and fabulous Thursday.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the island.